Mr. Pompa is a beloved member of the Woolton High School faculty. He has taught and counseled students in Woolton for 17 years. Mr. Pompa has made relations with thousands of students while running numerous clubs and extracurriculars. Among these are the St. Baldrick's Organization, Socks for Soldiers, Peer Mediation, Peervention, Bonamico, amongst many others. He is additionally currently a teacher of peer leadership, blossoming students into mentors for peers in their community. Anyone who has met Mr. Pompa will tell you he is the most caring, selfless person you will ever meet. Above all, he is a model human being. He looks out for others and recognizes when those need help. He will stop at nothing to make sure those around him are as happy and stress-free as possible, and serves as a role model to the students he inspires.
I met Mr. Pompa my freshman year in St. Baldrick's Club.
I met Mr. Pompa in my sophomore year. I was interested in joining one of his clubs, Peervention, and he asked me to come in, talk to him for a little bit just to get to know me. So I went in just, during one of my free periods for like 45 minutes. I expected like a 5-minute conversation. I ended up just staying the whole period, 45 minutes, and just talking to him the whole time, just about the most random stuff, and just like creating a really close connection with Mr. Pompa. And it's kind of just been the same way ever since. I literally just go into his office whenever and just talk to him for just endless amounts of time.
I met Pompa my sophomore year through a mutual friend, and then I joined Peervention and just sort of kept growing with him.
The first time I met Mr. Pompa, I was showing my little sister around the school. She was going into her freshman year, and it was the start of my sophomore year. And she was yelling at me because she thought that I was making her lost. So Mr. Pompa came out to see what was up. And we ended up talking to him for a while, and then I ended up signing up for one of his clubs where I show new students around the school. So I've since been doing that club with him, and I've signed up for a lot of other clubs with Mr. Pompa.
I first met Mr. Pompa my freshman year when I was joining the St. Baldrick's Club with my brother. We had a nice conversation, and since then I've just joined more of his clubs, and he's been a really good guy to me.
I first met Mr. Pompa sophomore year. At the end of sophomore year, I was interested in joining the club Peervention. So he emailed me and said that I should come meet with him in his office. And it was the first time I'd ever been in his office since he's now my counselor. And even though we had never known each other before, we talked for like probably an hour before I finally had to go to class. But instead of making me fill out the questions, we just talked about it instead.
I met Mr. Pompa in my freshman year of high school when a good family friend of mine, Johnny Maggio, introduced me to him. And he came up to me and said, "You want to help out with St. Baldrick's?" And I said yes, of course. And after that, it was a great 4-year experience with him. Took me on a long journey, a lot of hard work, but great man.
I met Mr. Pompa 17 years ago, back in 2004. I had just started working at the high school after my youngest son graduated, and Mr. Pompa applied for a job as a school counselor, and he was hired, and I guess the rest is history. We've been together for 17 years. Originally, my office was right across from his, so we would kind of yell back and forth and talk to each other, and people were wondering who we were talking to, but we were talking back and forth also.
I first met Mr. Pompa my freshman year of high school through a club called Peervention, which is one of the many clubs that Mr. Pompa is an advisor for. If I could describe Mr. Pompa, I would say that he's one of the most caring people I know. He is genuinely interested in making the lives of the people around him much better, and he's really involved with the community, and he really wants to make a difference. Mr. Pompa has helped me throughout my high school career, whether it's being involved with lots of extracurricular activities or helping me manage my time. He also helped me a lot with the college admissions process, and overall, he's just been someone who could be there whenever I need to talk, no matter what.
Mr. Pompa is currently suffering from membranous glomerulonephritis. MGN, for short, is a condition that damages one's kidney by hindering its ability to function properly. It allows waste matter to build up while proteins are forced out. Mr. Pompa has been suffering from this condition since the year 2000 after he suffered a fractured leg. Due to his fractured leg, a steel rod has been embedded. However, it was infected and has been destroying his cells ever since. Mr. Pompa has been going through brain, blood, and heart tests from September of last year through December. In January, he was cleared to start looking for a donor. However, he has still not found a match. It is critical that he finds a match as soon as possible, as Mr. Pompa's only bet of survival is receiving a transplant. In addition to close friends, no one in Mr. Pompa's family are matches. The match does not need to come from someone emotionally connected to Mr. Pompa. A living donation can be donated from anyone, anonymously or directly. Yale Hospital, where Mr. Pompa is being treated, will be taking care of the donor. For the donor, the process is expense-free, and your health will be monitored for life by experts at Yale.
Mr. Pompa is probably the most liked person in the school. He really likes his job. He cares about the kids that he works with, and he's really passionate about the other clubs that he helps out with, like St. Baldrick's, Socks for Soldiers, and Peervention.
Mr. Pompa's fantastic. I love Mr. Pompa, and I think what really sets him apart is how much he cares about people. And I think that whenever I go into his office, I know that whether I'm asking him about school or whether I'm talking about something going on in my life, he's present and he's there, and he really cares a lot about me. And I think that's really special to have someone like that.
I would say Mr. Pompa is just like a very genuine, caring person, and sometimes he's like a little funny and sarcastic and will joke with you, but you can tell that it's really all just entirely out of love. And even if he says something that maybe sounds like he's busting on you or making fun of you, he still really just means it fully with love. And he cares more about all of his students than anyone I've ever met before, and is so passionate about all of the amazing work he does, both with young kids, with high school students, with the veterans, just everyone throughout our community.
The process to see if you are compatible is quite simple. It entails a series of tests regarding one's medical and personal history, including urine and blood examinations. Mr. Pompa's blood type is O negative.
By donating a kidney, you will give the future generations of students that Mr. Pompa will work with the opportunity to meet a truly unique and special person. Mr. Pompa is the recent recipient of the American Award given out by the American Legion. This award is given out to those who have had a great effect on their community, as well as helping out veterans. Being the highest award the American Legion presents, Mr. Pompa is recognized as being a model citizen in the community. With plans of becoming a crisis counselor at a college, Mr. Pompa will be able to save lives in the future and help others get through their crisis. Mr. Pompa studied education and psychology before opening a private practice in Stratford. He realized while operating through his private practice that he wanted to take his passion to a school. He taught alternative ed, science, and math at Southbury and worked as a counselor at Bethel High School prior to bringing his skills to Woolton High School. As he would tell you, he's been teaching forever. With amazing baking skills and a great sense of humor, Mr. Pompa has the unique ability to put a smile on everybody's face in the room.
Mr. Pompa is an extremely helpful guy. He has helped me through my 4 years of high school. He wrote me a letter of rec. He taught me so many different leadership skills and communication skills and any type of skill that is important to have as a high school student and also as a college student too. I'm a freshman in college right now, and we still keep in touch, and if I have any questions, he's the guy I reach out to. He's the most helpful person that I know right now, and I'll know for a long time.
He helped me really find my passion for working with younger children and working with different children with different disabilities, and really helped me learn that I get my happiness from helping other people be happy. And I'm not sure that without meeting Mr. Pompa and getting these connections through all these different clubs, I would have found that. So I think I owe a lot of my happiness and the different ways that I'm able to find my happiness because of Mr. Pompa.
Mr. Pompa has helped me throughout my high school career, whether it's being involved with lots of extracurricular activities or helping me manage my time. He also helped me a lot with the college admissions process. And overall, he's just been someone who could be there whenever I need to talk, no matter what.
Mr. Pompa has helped me in more ways than I can even think of. From just growing as a person to getting into college, I couldn't thank him enough. Thank you, Mr. Pompa.
Mr. Pompa helps everybody in so many ways. Just his personality. He's the first one here in the morning, so he opens up all of our doors, always has the coffee water on for us. He's just always there with a smile, no matter how badly he may feel or how little he slept the night before. He is always cheery and chipper and makes all of us feel better and just helps us all be better at our job. And we couldn't, do it without him. So.
Yale Hospital, where Mr. Pompa is being treated, will be taking care of the donor. For the donor, the process is expense-free, and your health will be monitored by experts at Yale for life.
To get the donation process started, or for any questions, contact the number below.